Hi folks, I'm here with Bacon Fat. Welcome in Newport. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is W. Johnson, lead singer, guitar player of Bacon Fat.
This is Uncle Rick, also from Bacon Fat since 2019. Having been played in several bands before all over Europe, W at, at least got me in his band. And there's one guy missing who is Mr. Uncle Frank. Hi Frank, who has been playing in several bands like Tumbling Dice, cover a very known cover band in Belgium, and who is currently also playing in a band called Up Your Mule down in Western Flanders and the rest of Flanders.
So what about Bacon Fat biography? People who don't know you, what are your direct influences?
The most direct influence of Bacon Fat is ZZ Top, as I grew up listening to ZZ Top and learning to play the guitar while playing along the records of ZZ Top. So I guess ZZ Top is the main influence, but for the rest, I have a lot of influences, reaching from Lemmy from Motorhead to Dimebag Darrell from Pantera to Miles Davis to Bake Sugar. I can't have enough influences, but the main thing is that I get those influences into the sound of Bacon Fat while keeping the recognizable sound of Bacon Fat. And I guess my drummer, who forgot to mention he was playing the drums with Bacon Fat, by the way, has some other influences. So we go over to Rick.
Everybody has lots of influences, ranging from reggae to pornography to metal, and everybody learns something from every kind of music they see, kind of movies they see, people they meet. So everything is going to in one boiling pot, and something comes out, which is in this case hopefully the Bacon Fat sound.
So what about you? Projects you were in before, the most important to mention here?
Yeah, had some projects before. I've been playing for 45 years now. I was playing in a AC/DC tribute band called Ise Dase in Belgium. I played with the godfather of blues in Leuven, who was called Big Bill. And I had my own band, Binger, who has played every shithole in Flanders, and even bands I don't even remember playing in. I'm also playing in a current other project called Les Talons Gitans, which is world music in French, in English, in Flemish, in all kinds of languages, all kinds of music, and every kind of music you learn from and you can use in to become a better musician.
I just want to add one important influence I forgot to mention, as I forget something always. But one major influence of Bacon Fat is, of course, Mr. Andre Williams, who gave us the band name, which is pretty important. And he died in 2018 at 82 years old, but he was like active from the 40s, from the last century. Started doing doo-wop. Then released in 1957, he released the single Bacon Fat. That's where our names come from, of course. And I got to learn him. I got to learn to know him in the late 90s when he revived with some garage rock and roll music, and that's when I got to know him and how I got to know the song Bacon Fat and which inspired me to name the band Bacon Fat. That's maybe important I mentioned this.
Are there also indirect influences for Bacon Fat?
Indirect influences are happening every day, everywhere, at any second. But for Bacon Fat, I take everything what's happening around me. I try to take it into my music. If musically speaking, I would say the jazz from Miles Davis to the rock and roll from Motorhead, through musicians like Vernon Reid, who do all kind of weird stuff. Reggae music, reggae rock by Big Sugar from Canada is also a big influence. And besides music, movies, the sphere of movies like David Lynch's movies and stuff is also interacting with my writing of songs, actually. Maybe Rick got some more?
As I said before in the interview, everybody gets influenced from everything, movies, music, musicians. As in my personal case as a drummer, I'm influenced, of course, by John Bonham, by the late great Cozy Powell. The only guy who two guys who still live and are still playing the shit out of the drums are Mr. Brian Tishy, who played with Whitesnake and so on, the Dead Daisies, and of course the real greatness of drumming, Mr. Tommy Aldrich.
Spoken about influences, suppose you're on a desert island, you can only take with you 3 albums, you have a CD player or a vinyl player. Which albums you're gonna take, and you're each one of you on a separate desert island?
I would go definitely for the first album of the Masters of Reality, Chris Goss's band. Then I would say the U album by Gong, 70s psychedelic jazz stuff, a bit anarchistic. And the third one, and maybe the most important one to me, would be Mistaken Identity by the first solo album by Mr. Vernon Reid from I forgot how their band name. From Living Colour, of course.
Shame on you.
Just I forgot to talk about the 5 albums you made with Beck and Fat. So just skipping the answer of the drummer. What are the albums, and can you present them?
I'll do my best. We have 5 albums out. You can see the last 2 over here. I will start with the last one. That's Hard Rock and Soulfire. That's the CD you can see there. That was the only album we recorded with our metal-like drummer Tommy McDuff, and it sounds the most stoner rock metal from all of the albums, I think. But I'm really happy with the album. The album before is the Band of Brothers album, which is maybe the best representing album of what Bacon Fat is doing for 20 years. Actually playing blues rock influenced by a lot of other influences. Yeah, there you can see us on the back of the album. Before that one, we released 3 other albums, which went from classic blues rock, the first Boogalicious Baby album, that is, all original compositions, those are, and then we went a little more to add some stoner rock and also to add some jazzy influences on the second album, Reinventing the Mojo, and especially on the Art of Freedom, where we did some real experimentation with how far we could take the blues rock music into other dimensions. But I'm glad with all the albums. They make a perfect view of what Bacon Fat is standing for.
So now we go back with the 3 favorite albums. What are your 3 favorite albums?
My 3 favorite albums are Strangers in the Night by UFO, Rainbow Rising, and Overkill by Motorhead. Thank you.
I'm gonna be very honest, play the game with you. For me it's gonna be like Bad Brains' Quickness, the most metal album they did. Second, Japanese metal band Bow Wow, the first album. And third, let's say, also Japanese, Meiko Kaji. It's like the actor, but she was also a singer, so it's like psychedelic singer-songwriter. Just as final question, where can people find you best on social media or online?
People can find us everywhere on online and on social media, mainly on Facebook and YouTube. But we also have our own website, baconfat.be, where you find links to all the other ones. But I would like to tell people maybe check out our YouTube, as I am posting unreleased footage from the last 20 years with all incarnations of the band playing all of the catalog of Bacon Fat live. Also songs that we are not playing for a long time, but I still want to present them to the crowd. So go to our YouTube!
Yeah, I just got one more question I forgot. Like, you have like some quite important shows to come. Can you give a short impression of this?
Yeah, the first show we're gonna play in more than 1.5 years will be at Rock Patrol in Wingene on the 25th July coming up. Further on, we got gigs coming up in Den Oker, in the Sanderlo. We got in December we play even in France. We do an opening show for Zoe um, at the Milan, that is. And we got quite some shows coming up at venues we already did in the past. So watch out to our calendar. And yeah, we got a show coming up in Brussels also as well. At the Rock Classic, we will play again in early November. So be there!
Yeah, considering me, I would especially say don't miss them at the Rock Classic Bar in Brussels and also in Fisoda in Milan. So somewhere in between Dunkirk and Saint-Omer, France. It's not that far from Belgium. Yeah, Calais also. Interview was done by Jan Vervaeke for Jan Vervaeke YouTube, Jan Vervaeke Foto and Film Facebook page, also Metal to Infinity webzine, and for Dump magazine. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.